It is time for another real estate video, and today we're answering your question, what is probate in real estate? Or how does probate affect real estate? I'm Tiffany Weber, real estate attorney in Mooresville, North Carolina and the surrounding areas at Thomas & Weber, and we love to put out real estate educational videos. So if you want to know more about real estate law in North Carolina, make sure you subscribe to our channel. So back to the point. First, what is probate? This is, for a lot of people, a dirty word. They say they want to avoid probate at all costs, but let's get really clear and really simple. Probate is simply the orderly administration of an estate after a person has died. So if you hear nothing else in this video, if you are a realtor about to list property that involves an estate, or you have inherited property and you want to sell it, talk to someone before you ever list the property to make sure everything's in order. Probably the biggest issue we see in our office when it comes to estates and how they affect closings are significant delays because people didn't know that they had to follow certain steps to be able to sell the property. How probate actually affects the sale of property depends on a lot of things. It is impossible to get into all of those scenarios here, but we'll just do a high level. So one of the common things that we need to know whenever we're closing a transaction that involves property that's tied up in probate or is inherited property is how long ago was the estate filed? Where was it filed? Was it filed in the county where the property is located or not? We also want to know whether the owner of the property died intestate. Now that's another word that people hear and don't quite understand. Intestate simply means without a will. If you died testate, that means you died with a will. So those two things are very important too in determining ownership of property and who are actually heirs. Now when it comes to heirs, it's important to know, are all of those heirs living? Are they over 18? Are they competent? Are they married? Are their spouses competent? So generally everybody's heirs and their spouses have to sign at the closing to be able to convey clear title to property, which is a seller's obligation to do. Another thing that we see commonly is whether the estate was actually opened at all. It is quite common that we'll hear from realtors or sellers that say, oh, well, granddad, he didn't have anything, so we didn't open an estate. He didn't have any assets. Well, what do you think this property is that you're selling? That is an asset, and it has to be accounted for in the estate. So some people will just never open it, and then they try to sell it and realize, oh my gosh, we may not have the legal authority to sell. And you would not believe how many times we'll see people go under contract to sell a property that they did not actually inherit, or they are surprised to find out during the sale they inherited it along with other people that have an interest in the property. So, like I said at the beginning, if you didn't hear anything else that I said, if you are selling or about to list property that has an estate involved in it in any way, shape, or form, get someone to look at it before you ever go under contract, because these estate issues are a common reason for delay in closing, and you don't want to get into a situation where you're potentially in breach of contract because you can't provide clear title, or maybe you really need to close and you're just not able to on time because you haven't met all of the requirements needed to be able to convey clear title under the estate. So as you can see, when it comes to probate and how it affects real estate, it's complicated. It is incredibly complicated. Maybe 1 out of 50 closings is really simple, but if you get ahead of the issues, you talk to someone before you ever go under contract to list the property, your chances of having a smoother closing dramatically increase. So hopefully that answered some of your questions. I'm Tiffany Weber, real estate attorney in Lake Norman and the surrounding areas in North Carolina at Thomas & Weber. If you want to see more videos just like this one, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.